All right, hello East Central. This is Brandon Oliver, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for East Central ISD. And I have Principal Shane McKay, the principal, obviously, of East Central High School. And we're going to be going over graduation today because so many questions about it, and
Yeah.
it's such a big moment in these kids' lives to cross the stage and get their achievement. How do we, obviously COVID threw a big loop in everything. Everything is not normal right now.
Right.
So how do we come up with the ceremonies that we are doing here at East Central?
Well, the first challenge that we have, obviously, is how do we make sure that our students, their families, our entire community, and our staff remain safe, and knowing that it's so unpredictable and it's changing week by week. And so a lot of the decisions are doing the very best that we can to do what's right by our community and being safe with everyone. So we do have a graduation committee that's comprised of many different people, to include staff, administrators, central office, counselors. We have students that are engaged in the entire dialogue that we've had regarding what would be the best way for it to do it. So the state had provided some guidance on various platforms, but we would still have to get approval from the Commissioner of Education on what platforms we would decide. And after filtering a few ideas through the trustees and through the central office, the decision was made for us to use the vehicle ceremony process for the safest and most efficient manner to be able to still honor and support our seniors. There were a couple of barriers to our current circumstances. Number one, our stadium is under renovations. So any kind of outdoor stadium process would not even occur until late July or August if we were to try to provide that as a venue, even staying within the 25% guidelines. And so knowing that, and knowing that currently we already have 61 seniors that are going to be shipping off to the military, as well as a couple that are going to service academies, and many that are going away out of state to go to college, that would automatically prohibit them to even have any kind of celebration at all. Last thing is, we really wanted to honor our seniors on the day that we were intending to graduate, and by delaying any of that may cause additional challenges for certain families and circumstances, since many of them had already had their graduation announcements already printed and delivered. So we wanted to be able to do the very best that we can to keep it safe, to make sure that we pay honor and respects to our seniors as best that we can under the current circumstances we are in.
And there's so much unknown. Like, we've seen school districts say, okay, we're going to postpone it to June or July. But the guidelines as far as social distancing may not even, be empty by then. So, you definitely don't want to give somebody false hope that
Right.
we're going to do it in July. Oh, we have to cut it back.
Right.
And so then by that time, as you were saying, some people may have moved on, whether it's military. They can't wait for, forever, or, can't wait forever to get a job, or
Sure.
can't wait forever to go off to college. So it's not going to be inclusive, right?
Well, and that's the biggest thing, is what you also talked about was the challenges with knowing that it could change tomorrow. So the restrictions could be tightened back down. And so if that happens, and we said we are going to delay, well, all that does now is that's prolonging this the challenges that our seniors are facing, and then we create unintended false hope, and then that day comes and we can't do it because there's either the restrictions are tightened, or we still don't have a venue to do it because of certain restrictions that are provided on us. And we just didn't feel like that was fair for our seniors to say, well, let's push it here and then create maybe potentially false hope. We get to that day, well, that doesn't work. Then we go to another date. Well, guess what? That doesn't work. And then by the time we realize it, they're either going to be going off to school, or they've already shipped off to the military, and they got no closure, they got no celebration, they got no opportunity to get to experience this with their peers and with their families. And so we wanted to capitalize on when we can do it and how we can do it. And we felt like that was the best way to be able to support our seniors.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the event. I know you have some things here to show.
So I'm excited to tell you it is not what maybe some people have conjured up in their mind, that we have been very thoughtful about how do we create the best experience to make it as close as we can to graduation without having 7,000 people in an arena.
Yeah, and they hear the words drive-through,
Right.
and they automatically think, McDonald's or
Sure.
Taco Bell. And the reality is that the logistics of this event are pretty big.
Yes.
So I mean, definitely naming and definitely the actual event itself and all the things that we're planning
Sure.
is a lot more than going through and getting a burrito
Absolutely.
at Taco Bell.
Well, we've tried to keep much of it a secret because we wanted to surprise the families that this was going to be a great event. But we're ready to share a lot of the details that are going to be there. So we will a couple of things that we're going to ask. The first and foremost is. Many of you have already ordered your cap and gowns. I highly encourage you to get onto balfour.com. We have until May the 8th to get them in by the 19th. So, and that's the preferred vendor. I know that there have been some other vendors in the area, but the word that we've recently received is they're being processed in another state and their plants are closed down and they are not going to get those in. So, but Balfour.com Balfour rep has told us if you get it in by the 8th, they will have it here at the East Central High School by the 19th. Now, of course, if you have siblings from a previous year that you would like to wear as well, then you can just get the tassel with the current year on there, which just want to make you aware that you can even order that. And Mr. Thompson from Balfour will be here on the 19th, and they'll have extras of these if you wanted to buy one of those for your current cap and gown.
Real quick, talk about May 19th, time, everything, what's going to be going on.
So on May 19th here at the high school, we're going to have a drive-through process similar to that we're going to prepare for graduation, but that's going to be an opportunity for students for seniors to turn in their textbooks, turn in their library books, get anything else turned in as well. But we've also got a few gifts that we're going to be giving them, as well as their regalia. So any of their awards and accolades that they may not have already received from their sponsors or directors or coaches that they would wear at graduation, we'll be receiving that on that day, so they have that ready to go on the day of. And then of course they'll be getting their cap and gown if they ordered on Balfour, which is roughly 70% or more of our students have already placed that order, so they'll be here for us to be able to mobilize and give it to them on that day.
Great. And if they haven't already, Balfour.com.
Yes.
That is
I
the
highly
place.
encourage it. Yes, and Mr. Thompson has assured that they will be able to get it in by the 19th to ensure that you have your cap and gown. So we highly encourage that. If you're experiencing some economic hardships, please make sure that you reach out to your child's counselor. And we've got some things through social services that we can provide some additional supports if there's a chance that you don't have the means to be able to afford it. So we can figure something out to take care of our kids.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, so want to talk about that. So one of the things that you're also going to receive on the 19th, but we're going to have some extra copies in case it may get lost, is you're going to receive a gold card. Now on this card, it will have your name on there, as well as it'll be very decorated, because what we're going to ask all the graduates in your vehicle when you come to the day of graduation, that this be placed up on the driver's side of the front windshield as you arrive. The main reason why is we're going to have police officers there that are going to be helping us with managing the traffic, and we're going to need to have this on the front windshield as an identifier that you are a graduate and coming through. Obviously, you'll be wearing your cap and gown. We're going to ask all the graduates wearing their cap and gown to be in the front passenger seat of the vehicle. We're going to talk about more of the logistics around that later on in the conversation, but we're going to provide you a copy of this, so you need to make sure that you hold on to this, or even if you just want to, go ahead. It's going to be laminated. Put it in the front windshield of your car and just leave it there to identify you as a graduate of East Central High School for the class of 2020. I will say that there have been many requests of how many vehicles can we bring in families. Unfortunately, due to TxDOT requirements and also the Department of Public Safety, they have limited us to only one vehicle per graduate. Now, I want you to imagine that currently right now we have 792 graduates. So that's 792 independent vehicles that's going to be driving through our campus staged very efficiently and effectively. So we're only allowing one vehicle per graduate. So this is going to be very important to identify. We've had some families ask, can we bring a party bus? Can we bring a limousine? Can we bring a big van? Absolutely. Those are all great ideas. Okay. We love it. I will say you do need to think about it's going to be a very tight turn radius, because we're parading you through the Gym 3 parking lot, zigzagging you all the way through so you can see all of your friends as you're passing. And I know many people are planning on decorating their vehicles, streamers, putting graduates 2020 on the outside of it. Plus you're going to have all of your teachers there to see you. So those are some of the basic logistics, is that you'll have a placard to put in your front windshield, 1 car per graduate. Please wear your cap and gown when you arrive.
So it can be obviously you want a trailer on the back of a car because it's too
Yes.
too narrow to turn.
Well, yeah, Bexar County will also be there as well, and I don't know for safety reasons if the Bexar County Sheriff's officers will allow people to be riding in the back of a trailer, but we love the idea.
What about large vans, large trucks? Like if families want to get as many family members into the vehicle as possible,
As long as they can do safely and they're not violating any motor vehicle laws.
Right.
Obviously, Bexar County and ECPD won't have a problem with it, but yeah, it's whatever works best economically for the family and how they choose to celebrate with their senior when they're there. So that's the first step, just to understanding that day of.
Okay.
We have broken it down into 3 segments. So we'll have the first part based on alpha will be from 8 to 9. The second part will be from 9 to 10, and then the third part will be from 10 to 11 based on your last name of your alpha. Obviously, if you have logistical issues in the families, let's say somebody has to go to work later in the morning and they can only come, of course we will not turn any graduate away if they're not necessarily in the alpha split that's there, or if you can't come until the third segment and you're intended to be here in the first segment, we're going to be as accommodating as we can, and we understand that life happens and sometimes you may get caught in traffic, or sometimes you may only have one vehicle that you're working in. You have to get back to the house for the family to get together. So perfectly understandable, as long as we do the best we can to stay within that window that we're providing for each graduate by last name.
Excellent. So what else do we have?
Okay, so the very first thing I also want to talk about is as you get to the parking lot, we're going to want you to take your FM, turn your FM radios on, and you're going to turn to station 96.9. We will be broadcasting on that local FM station all of the graduates as they cross the stage to receive their diploma. Everything that we will be announcing with their criers, you will get to hear on the radio. It will be broadcast up to about 1,000 feet. We have to stay within FCC regulations, and the church on the corner has been graciously enough to allow us to mirror that transmission. So if you're a little bit closer to the stadium parking lot on that side, you'll be able to pick up some of the signal from the church as well down in the corner. So we're going to ask you to turn to that. We're also going to ask you to roll your windows down. And part of the reason why we're going to ask you to roll your windows down, that way you can wave to your friends, but your teachers are going to be lined up along the entire parade route that are going to be providing you words of encouragement. And many of them have talked about some things that they're going to do, which I'm excited that you'll get to see that they're going to be doing for their graduates and just to honor them. But we want you to be able to do that because when you go to graduation, you have pomp and circumstance. That's the song, by the way, that is played when you enter. Well, we're going to be playing pomp and circumstance, and you'll be able to hear that as you parade through the parking lot to get to your next part. We're anticipating we can have approximately 160 to 170 cars staged at one time in the parking lot. So that's essentially 160 to 170 graduates at a time that'll have a chance to see each other, hear each other crossing the stage. So we're really excited about that. So when you get into the parking lot, though, we're going to have somebody remind you. We'll have signs telling you about the FM station 96.9 to listen to, but we're also going to have signs telling you that we are going to be broadcasting it on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. So if you want to be able to turn to that, as well as don't forget that at that same time, our online graduation program will be available for you to be able to watch from your device. So if you wanted to watch your number one ranking SUMA speech, if you wanted to see the senior president speech, the benediction, the invocation, you can watch that at that time, or you can choose to watch that when you get home. But that will also be available for you at that same time. When you get inside the parking lot and you get to your first stop, you will receive your actual graduation program. Now, it's been sent off to be printed. So we have our printing company. It's the exact same one we've used for the last 6 to 7 years at graduation. It's the same program. Nothing has changed with it, with all the same awards and accolades. So all 792 graduates' names will be in there, as well as broken down by Summa, Magna, and Cum Laude grads, and any of those in the military service. Our 2 students who have had perfect attendance, our outstanding senior boy are listed. Any of our AP honor scholars are on there, and all of our national merit scholars. So everything will be inside of there. You'll be able to find your name and any of the symbols that come after your name, or all of the different awards and accolades that you will receive. You'll receive that, but also attached to it, you will receive a card that's from Flash Photography, and this is the company we've been using for several years now for graduation. They do Incarnate Word, they do Texas State, they do UTSA. They're a great photography company, because we're going to ask somebody in the vehicle, possibly the graduate, but somebody in the vehicle, to fill this card out while you're in the processional line. And the reason why we're going to ask you to fill this out is after you cross the stage, you're going to go over to the stadium parking lot, and they will have tents set up where you'll be able to get out of your vehicle, and you'll be able to go in. You'll drop the card off so they know your contact information. You'll get to have your diploma. They'll take a picture of you just like they would behind the stage after you've received your diploma anyway. And so then you'll be able to order that online for you to be able to keep throughout your life. So that's one of the next things that we wanted to make sure that everybody was aware.
Right. And obviously safety will be paramount.
Yes, sir.
As far as social distancing.
Yes, sir.
And getting their photo.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So when you do go to get your photo, we're not going to require that you wear a mask for your photo, because obviously we want you to have that, but there will be the social distancing guidelines will be in place. It'll be contactless. The photographer will be wearing a mask, but also know that you will be more than 6 feet apart from you and the photographer. You will not have contact with the photographer. The photographer will not have contact with you. It'll be go in, stand in the spot they indicate, face the direction that they indicate, and they'll take a couple of shots to make sure that they get the right one. And then you'll be able to pick up a card on your way out that'll give you the contact information on how to order your programs or order your pictures when you get home.
Okay.
So that's one step.
Okay.
As we zigzag through, after you've picked this up, of course, now imagine y'all are crossing each other. You're going to hear Pomp and Circumstance. You'll have it turned to the FM 96.9. When you get right in front of Gym 3, Mr. Trainer will be there, our associate principal, and he will stop you. He will make sure we get the right name down, because we will have the same criers who call out all of our graduates' information when they cross the stage. Will be staged and ready with all the information that you put on the senior graduation form. So if you haven't filled that form out, please make sure you take a few minutes. I think the last time we checked, we were at 697 had done it. So we're still missing a few students.
We'll put the link up.
We'll put the link up there to make sure that you put that on there. They'll get your information. When Mr. Trainer gives you the all go, you'll get to pull up in front of Gym 3. We're going to ask the parents to stop the vehicle, or the guardians to stop the vehicle, actually put it in park. You will get out of the vehicle. And when you get out of the vehicle, we have a stage that will be set up that you will get to cross. And as you get up onto the stage, we will have myself, our superintendent, and a trustee will be handing you your diploma. So your parents will have to remain in the vehicle for safety reasons, but they'll be able to take photos of you crossing the stage, nice. Just like we would at a normal graduation, receiving your diploma from a trustee that's been sanitized and wiped down per all the guidelines of the CDC and Metro Health. Once you receive it, you'll be able to step back down, and then you'll get back into your vehicle to move on to the next phase of the graduation parade.
So the kids are going to get to cross the stage.
You're actually going to have a stage to cross.
The big, stage, everything on it,
yep.
Decorated.
It's going to have the backdrops, the podiums, the American flag, Texas flag. We got the flowers already ordered. We've got all the diploma covers are already in, so the stage is going to be exactly just like graduation. There's awesome. The only thing that changes is we have a little bit more say in the color. So they don't have a gray backdrop. We were using a black backdrop with EC on it.
And so as the student crosses the stage with the special guests there, they'll get to, the parents will be able to take pictures.
Absolutely. Family members will be able to take pictures from inside their vehicle of their graduate crossing the stage.
It probably a lot closer than they would be at a stadium, because
Much
in the stadium they'd be way up at the top.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And now you're just,
And they're fighting to get to those areas in the Coliseum, and we're very restrictive with the police officer and administrators in that area, and only one person at a time to get to take the picture. You'll be right up within probably 15 to 20 feet of your graduate that's getting to cross the stage and physically get their diploma from a trustee like they normally would. Now, we do need to talk about for safety reasons, and this is a logistical issue across the state as well, regardless of what platform that districts have chosen, is that because we are now going to be in the threshold of the 6 feet ruling, we are going to ask that you have some type of facial covering, a mask, just like you would if you were going to the grocery store or if you were going somewhere else. That's being required for your safety, but the safety of others. Everybody that will be on the stage will also be wearing a mask. So we will require you to have, whether it's a cloth version of a mask that you've already been wearing and that you've made or had a family member make, or whether you have the paper version or you've had some that you've had. The graduate, that's the only time we're going to ask the graduate to wear the mask, is when they get out to cross the stage. So have it ready and have it on as you get ready to cross the stage at that time. Just that's for everybody's safety, and that's to stay within the guidelines.
Yeah, and that's just because there are more people around at that particular spot than,
Yes, sir.
than in the other spots.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. So again, you'll receive your diploma cover at that time. You'll get to take your pictures, and the reason why I say that is because even at graduation, when you cross the stage, you actually just receive a diploma cover. And we would go over that with you at rehearsal. So this is kind of like our rehearsal.
Right.
You'll receive a diploma cover. And then when you go to take your photo over by the stadium, your counselor will be there with an envelope ready to receive you that will hand you your diploma through the front window of your vehicle when they drive up. So you'll actually receive your physical diploma in the stadium parking lot when you get to that side. So after you get done, you've gotten your photo, you've crossed the stage, you'll get back in your vehicle safely. We will guide you back through in front of the CTC. Then we're going to drive you around to the front of the main campus for one final time. We will have teachers lined up along the way. At that time, like we always do at every graduation, we play the alma mater, and that's after you've received your diploma. So the alma mater will be playing at that time, and quite a bit of reminders of once a Hornet, always a Hornet will be around there. And then as you exit out of the front entrance of the campus, police officer will guide you to the stadium parking lot where you'll get to pull in, receive your actual physical diploma, and then you'll get guided over to the tents where the photographers are to take your graduation photo. And then when you're done with your photo, you have your information for their flash photography, and we'll also put a link on there as well, just in case you lose that card and you get in contact with them. You'll be escorted back out to the front, right across the street from our John Glenn Annex. They'll have you take a left, and the reason why we want you to take a left to go back in front of the high school is we want you to see all of your friends for one last time as they're all parading through to get their diploma. We will probably have an area as we get closer to the stage where we're asked for us not to honk. Just part of the reason why is because we don't want to drown out the graduates who are getting their name called at that time.
Sure.
So we'll probably ask respectfully in the parking lot, no honking. But obviously, if you're out at the road and you want to do some honking with your friends, that's there, and you can wave. And as you're driving off back to Highway 87, so there's a couple of other things that we're going to ask is that. Everybody arriving to the graduation, we will really request that you come from Highway 87. So even if you're in the Elmendorf area or over by 181 in Southton Road or by towards Harmony, please find a route to get back towards Highway 87 because that is the natural flow of the parade itself. Secondarily to that is if we start to back up, we do not want to back traffic up all the way to Pruski's. So we will be opening up our ag road that leads out back towards the bus circle. So some of the parade route will be directed back behind the school as it comes around so we can stage everybody in a safe manner, and that will be determined by our police department. We're doing that. Don't worry, a lot of the same things that we're doing to celebrate in the actual parking lot will be also celebrated on the back side of the campus. And again, it gives you an opportunity to pass many of your peers that are waiting in line too and get to see them as you're waiting to go across the stage.
And I like the word parade.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like at this point. It's like, there's more waving, there's more, interaction, and that way it's still safe with the social distancing. But, they still get to see all their friends and they're in the car actually with their family. The graduate, as you said, will be in the passenger seat. And a family member will be driving. Mm-hmm. Of course, depending on the vehicle size, you can fit, more family in. So, that's something that, you don't really get at graduate. I know when I graduated, both in high school and college, I didn't have my parents walk across stage with me. Or be that close. They're usually way up there.
Yeah, and you don't see them until the whole thing is over.
Right.
And they have to wait for you in a parking lot, and then you got to find each other in a big sea of people, and it makes it kind of complex, and you're texting and calling each other, and you can't figure out which either. But I think that is a very unique experience, and again, trying to do the best we can to make lemonade out of lemons is what a great opportunity to have your family literally within 20 to 25 feet as you receive your diploma from a trustee as you cross the stage. And then obviously getting that opportunity for that photo op as you're doing that, to be that in that proximity. And we all know that none of our graduates ever got to this point without that support system. And part of what we talk to our seniors often about is that it's about you, but it's not about you. You know, graduation is also a way that we pay respects to everybody in our life that has gotten us to this point. And so what an amazing opportunity to really honor and respect also their family that has helped them to get to that point.
Absolutely.
And to be that close. But you did bring up a good point, is what about extended family who can't be there? That's why we are going to be streaming it live on Facebook as well as streaming it live on YouTube.
Right.
We're also going to be running quite a bit of cameras around the entire event, to include one on the stage the entire time, with drone footage as well. From the skies, looking down, because our goal and objective is when it's all done, we will put together a post-production video that we want to mail to all of our graduates, a DVD of the experience.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so we're excited about all the different things. Of course, we do have, like we said, already some other surprises in store for our seniors, but we're trying to keep those a secret. But I really am I'm proud of all the work that everybody's put in, the input we've actually received from our seniors on this event leading up to it. Again, everybody's kind of had their own thoughts about what this really will be. And I think once everybody gets a chance to experience it, they're going to see that it's going to be an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's a big scope, a lot of logistics, and it's going to be a wonderful event.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And again, 90 to 95% of our teachers have all said they're going to be there, so they'll get to see their teachers one more time. Of course, those that won't be, they either have a child that's graduating on that same day and they'll be in line with you. Right. We do have several parents that are educators on our campus that have kids that are graduating, so we've told them definitely you need to be with your child. But other than those, we will have a full house here, of course, maintaining our social distancing. Right. And that's part of the reason why the vehicle method was chosen by the committee, is because being that we don't have a stadium and being that there was no way that we could safely convene, none of the local stadiums would be even willing to allow us to go in there, because obviously due to the safety concerns that and liabilities other districts would have. And due to this opportunity, even across the state, some of the challenges with how do you maintain your social distancing, how do you maintain these when you have these big, large events. And it's got principals and district personnel incredibly worried about how they're going to be able to monitor and maintain that. So us being able to stay in the vehicle, we're able to still pay full respects and still also honor the guidelines and keep, most importantly, our students, their families, our greater community safe. Right. And even if there are restrictions that tighten down, we still can have the ceremony. Sure. So we're excited about that.
Sure. And even though we're not, 6 feet apart and wearing masks, but we work together so often.
Yes, we're together all the time. Absolutely.
I feel like it's family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So right. There's also, just to make you aware, the graduation map is already on our website. So if you
we're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll take a look at the map. We'll even we'll drive you through the course. But as well as if you wanted to go to the high school website, go to ecisd.net, click on the high school. We have a senior landing page. You click on Seniors 2020. Not only will you get to hear our alma mater and fight songs, but you'll get to see hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures from this year in the senior class, as well as videos of tribute, as well as the graduation information. Is already uploaded a basic map, which has been updated slightly again. So just constantly stay tuned for more updated information, and go to that website.
All right, well, let's take a look at the map and then let's do a drive around.
Absolutely.